Alright, what's up mga ka-investa? Welcome back to another InvestaUniversity lesson. Today, Barry and I will be talking about technical indicators again. So this time, we'll tackle the ADX, MACD, Fibonacci levels, and volume profile. So first, let's talk about the ADX. So the average directional index, or the ADX, is an indicator used to measure the trend strength based on price action. So medyo mahaba and complicated yung buong pag-calculate ng ADX, but the gist is that it has two components, the positive directional index and the negative directional index. So these two components try to formulate kung gaano nga ba kalakas yung upward momentum and downward momentum in a cryptocurrency. By combining these two, smoothing and averaging them out, you'll arrive at the ADX, and essentially, the ADX will tell you if malakas ba yung trend, whether if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. So there are two uses for the ADX. First is the most common, so figuring out if may existing trend ba. So of course, based on the highs and lows alone, possible na para sa atin to gauge if there's an uptrend or a downtrend. So first look pa lang sa chart, halata ng uptrending yung Bitcoin sa hourly time frame. And basically, what the ADX aims to do is it tries to quantify this into a number to give you sort of an objective reading if there's a trend present. So yung usual basis is if the ADX is below 20, most likely the cryptocurrency is in a sideways trend. If it's between 20 to 25, may emerging trend. And if it's 25 and above, may strong trend present. And with higher numbers, signifying a stronger trend. So as usual, di importante yung ma-memorize nyo yung values. Yung mas importante is alam nyo yung concept that the ADX measures trend strength and you can find a way to use it systematically. So the other use case for the ADX is sometimes traders use it to gauge if a trend is overheating. So this one isn't a textbook use case, but it's possible to implement this as a tool to help you gauge if you might be buying near the tops already. So let's say trend follower ka who buys additional tranches on the way up. If you want to have an approach wherein you're buying less on the way up, the ADX can help you gauge if nag-overextend na ba yung trend, if it might be pulling back already, or if nag-start na yung distribution phase. So again, as with all indicators, make sure you test this out first and see if 1, they fit your trading style, and 2, if they serve a purpose in your overall decision making. So up next is the MACD. If you go through the MACD's formula, it might also look a bit complicated. But in reality, the indicator can be generally simple. Looking at the indicator, a lot of people don't actually know this, but the MACD itself is only one line. So the one highlighted here. And the other line you see is only a moving average of the MACD called the signal line. And the bars, or the histogram, only symbolize the distance between the MACD and the signal line. So for now, let's focus only on the MACD itself and its moving average. So the gist of the MACD is that it shows you the distance between two regular MAs. So usually yung 12-day and yung 26-day MA. So ano yung purpose nito? For those looking to trade continuation patterns, the MACD can signify if profit taking is close to being done. So basically, the shorter term moving average approximates for the average price of short-term traders. So these are scalpers, day traders, or those who buy and sell within only a few days. So the longer-term moving average approximates instead for the average price of medium-term traders, so those who buy and hold for at least a month or so. So during consolidations, as the short-term MA goes closer to the long-term MA, the MACD will go closer to 0, and when this happens, it usually means short-term traders, in essence those likely to take profits ASAP, are being taken out of the cryptocurrency. As the exchange of hands happens, wherein the coins or tokens are now being held instead by longer-term traders, the market cycle is being completed and the trend has a higher chance of continuing. So the moving average of the MACD, or known as the signal line, is only added as a sort of sign that the MACD and in essence prices have picked up momentum again and the uptrend is resuming. So usually, yung signal is that when the MACD goes above the signal line, it's usually seen as a buy signal. And on the other hand, if the MACD goes below the signal line, it's usually seen as a sell signal. And so that's it for the MACD. And on a last note, since I'll be passing on the lesson to Barrio now, I just wanted to reiterate again that at the end of the day, indicators are tools for our system. So our goal isn't to have charts that look cool, pero dapat each indicator should serve a clear purpose that helps you find repeatable market patterns, or rather repeatable behaviors in the markets that you can take advantage of and you can profit from. And that's it for me. And with that, Barrio will now talk about the other indicators included in this lesson.
So yun, what's up mga ka-investa, no? So, along with Kahane, I'll be discussing some indicators on Fibonacci retracements and extensions as well as yung volume profiles. So yun, let's get into it. So ito yung mga indicators na i-discuss ko in this learning session, no? So, unang-una sa lahat, yung Fibonacci retracements and extensions. Under that, yung mga key points na i-discuss ko are the following, no? Yung Fibonacci sequence, ano ba to? Bakit ba siya ina-apply sa technical analysis and such? Pangalawa, yung first known use of Fibonacci ratios in technical analysis, which is Elliott wave, no? And pangatlo, yung key Fibo ratios, also known as yung 0.3, 2, 0.5, and 0.618. And lastly, yung use cases ng Fib retracements and extensions. Next na indicator na i-discuss ko is yung volume profile, no? Yung volume profile na discuss ko na yan from the previous session. Like, yung volume profile as a better way to spot demand and supply areas, and magbibigay din ako ng cheat sheets on volume profiles, kung paano ko siya ginagamit and such. So, yun. Moving forward, yung Fibonacci sequence, ano ba to? Since sinaral natin yung Fibonacci retracements and extensions in technical analysis, kailangan aralin din natin kung saan siya nanggaling. Yung Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical sequence na nag-occur naturally in many biological and physical systems. So, yung Fibonacci sequence is basically the sum of two preceding numbers. So, ito yung parang sequence niya, no? 0, 1, 1, 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, and others, no? So, para siyang, sequence in which meron siyang growth, di ba? So yung Fibonacci sequence and Fibonacci ratios, di kalaunan napansin ng isang technical analyst or isang market technician na pwede pala siyang i-apply in the financial markets or in technical analysis basically. So, yung first known application ng Fibonacci ratios is by Ralph Nelson Elliott, yung founder ng Elliott wave. So, yung Elliott wave is basically market cycle theory, no? Or parang ano siya, like the Wyckoff theory. So, Elliott believed that the waves in the market followed the pattern of 5 waves in the direction of a trend, no? Or the trend. Then, followed by 3 corrective waves against the trend. Basically, may impulse move ka, 5 waves, and 3 corrective waves ka on the corrective move. So, sinasabi niya dito na na-observe niya yung waves tended to follow specific Fib ratios, or Fibonacci ratios, including the 38.2% or 0.32, 50% or 0.50, and 61.8% retracements, also known as the 0.618 retracements. So, ito yung commonly used na Fibonacci retracement, no? Nag-apply yan during corrective waves and such. So, yun. Yung key Fibonacci ratios in technical analysis are 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618. And usually, ginagamit yan as support and resistance of a range. For example, dito, meron kang trading range. Usually, ginagamit yan to spot support levels using the Fib ratios. Yung 0.618, 0.5, and 0.382. So, for example, meron kang impulse move dito or rally. So, you can use this as your trading range. Then, once na nagpo-pull back siya, yun yung pwede mong gamitin as a basis of an anticipatory support or resistance, no? So, for example, in this chart, 0.618, dito siya nag-support at 0.618 na retracement. So, ganun. We have four main use cases sa Fibonacci retracements and extensions, no? And along that, papakita din ako ng actual demonstration on how it will be used or can be used sa sa technical analysis na toolbox natin. So, una, yung using Fib retracements as key support and resistance level. So, usually, ginagamit yung 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618 as key support levels when anticipating during retracements, no? Yun. Next is yung determining the strength of a trend. So, usually, ginagamit yung retracements level para mag-gauge if malakas ba yung trend or hindi. So, kapag yung retracement level is relatively small, malakas yung trend. And pag masyadong malakas naman yung retracement, usually, yung perceived trend strength is weak. So, later on, mas i-discuss natin yan. Next is yung setting price targets. So, yung fib retracements, pwede mo yan gamitin as buy and sell areas, and you can set a target to buy an issue at a specific retracement level, no? And then sell it at the next level. And ayun, another example is using the 1618 extension during range breakouts. So, ginagamit din natin yan like yung sa 'di ba, yung measured target natin in the Wyckoff learning session. So, dito naman ang usually na ginagamit on Fibonacci trading is yung 1618 na extension. Since yun daw yung golden ratio, no, and such. And lastly, pwede mong gamitin yung fib retracements and extensions in conjunction with other indicators. So, usually, pwedeng gamitin mo yan sa, in confluence with a moving average para mas significant na support level. For example, dito sa charting tool ni Investa, no? So, saan natin mahanap yung Fibonacci retracement na tool? So, mahanap natin yan dito sa Kahane and Fibonacci tools, dito sa charting tools natin na area, no? So, click mo lang yan, Fibonacci retracement. Then, dinadrag and drop lang yan. Tapos, makikita mo na yung retracement areas na 0.32, 0.5, and 0.618. So, yung first use case natin is using it as a support and resistance, no? Or anticipatory support and resistance. So, dito sa ginawa nating Fibonacci retracement natin, 'di ba yung primary trend ni ADA is downtrend, 'di ba? So, kailangan mo siyang ilagay sa isang specific trading range. So, pwede mo siyang gamitin dito or sa bigger picture, which is etong trading range, no? In which ito yung mga swing high natin or resistance area, and then ito yung perceived low natin or yung swing low. So, ito yung trading range natin, 'di ba? So, in this case, yung retracement or anticipated retracement level natin or rally level natin, resistance level, is 0.382. So, parehas lang yan. Kunwari, babaliktarin mo, 0.618 or 0.382, same thing. Halos parehas lang yan. Walang pinagkaiba yan. Yang 0.618 and 0.382. So, in this case, nag-rally siya patungong 0.618 na retracement level. So, yun. Tapos na tayo dito sa use case na to in which it can serve as a resistance area. So, nag-resist siya dito sa 0.618. So, ngayon, focus naman tayo dito sa area na yan, in which ito yung trading range natin. So, ngayon, ang gagawin lang natin is i-adjust natin yung fib retracement natin, no? From the swing low to swing high. Di naman kailangan na sobrang specific na body to body or tail to tail, as long as nandun siya sa area na yan. So, ngayon, ang ginawa ni ADA, nag-resist siya dito sa 0.42, di ba? And then, nag-create ng corrective move. Ngayon, once na nag-correct siya at 0.618, nag-counter rally siya, di ba? Or nag-rally back siya papunta dito sa 0.382 na area. Ngayon, what we can see is meron tayong MO100. So, in conjunction dun sa another use case, pwede mo siyang i-combine with other indicators, no? in which pag nasa isang key fib retracement area siya or key fib retracement ratio along with a moving average, it can serve as a strong support area or a resistance area. So in this case, since price is below MA100, it can serve as a resistance along with the 0.382 key fib ratio, no? So ngayon, ang magiging primary bias natin is it might resist at 0.32. Then, pwede mo siyang i-short papuntang 0.618 or toward dito sa 0.25 na area. Or dito sa 100% level, no? So, ganun yung ito yung mga combined use cases niya. So, makikita din natin na nag-retrace siya sa 0.618. So, basically, the impulse rally is considered as weak, diba? Supposedly, dapat nag-retrace lang siya papuntang 0.382. Pero nag-pierce siya papunta dito sa 0.618. So ngayon, ang magiging bias talaga natin is to short this coin, 'di ba? Since nasa MO100 resistance area ka and 0.382 na fib ratio. So yun yung first example natin. Sige, bigay tayo ng another example. In this case, yung BTC. So pwede natin gawin dito is use this trading range, no, as our fib levels. So, di ba yung recent na move ni Bitcoin is nag-retrace siya papuntang 0.5 na fib level, no? And along that, meron tayong dynamic support na MO100. So, it just proves na shallow retracement siya, di ba? Shallow retracement equals a strong trend or malakas tong impulse move na yan. So ngayon, ang pwedeng maging primary bias natin since above M100 siya and trying to break above the 100% level is possibly ang pwede natin gawin is wait for a breakout sa 100% and then our next target will be the 1618 fib extension. So yung fib extension is basically 0.618 in addition of the 100% netong trading range na yan. Yun. Pwede ring mangyari dyan. Another scenario is mag-resist siya dito sa 100% and then retraces back to 0.618 or 0.32 if ever na magkaroon talaga ng strong bearish move dito sa coin na to. Yun. Next, sige, pakita pa tayo ng another example or use case for Ethereum, no? So, what we can do is remove muna natin yung mga drawings. So, pwede natin gawin is use this as our trading range, no? From 2,000 up to dito sa 980 level. So, from swing high to swing low, ito yung mga fib levels natin. So, ang pinaka-recent na ginawa niya is nag-retrace siya papuntang 0.32. Then, right now, piercing the 0.618 level. Along with yung MO100, yung presyo is above MO100. So, ang pwede natin gawin dyan is we readjust our fib levels papunta dito sa recent recent trading range na, no? So, from this swing low to swing high, if price breaks above the 100% level, our next target will be or possibly be at 0.618 level. 1.618 level. So, ano yan? In confluence siya with the structural resistance, no? Na 2,000 USDT. So, pwedeng ganun yung approach mo. Or, pwede rin if mag-resist talaga siya at the 100% level or this structure resistance, pwede mo siyang i-short papuntang 0.5 or papuntang 0.382. Then, doon mo siya i-cover. Yun. So, yun yung 4 main use cases, no? For using Fibonacci retracements and extensions. Basically, to identify it as a key support and resistance level. Pangalawa, to determine the strength of a trend. Pangatlo, setting price targets or buy areas. And lastly, combining it with other indicators. So, yun. So, ganun lang siya. Yun yung pinaka-basic na approach in using Fib retracements and extensions. So, next indicator na i-discuss natin are volume profiles, no? Also known as volume by price. So, yung volume profile, also known as volume by price, takes the total volume traded at the specific price level and kino-consolidate yon during the specified time period. So yung volume profile acts as a stronger basis no for support and resistance zones. Dahil nandun yung true quantity of shares or units bought or sold by market participants. Yun, to discuss in basic terms no, lahat ng bumili at a specific price level, yung quantity nun is consolidated in this bar. So lahat ng bumili at 20,000 USDT per Bitcoin, yan yung quantity ng volume in which nandun karamihan ng volume no at 20,000. So nandyan makikita kung nasaan karamihan ng shares. And it validates kung nasaan yung strong support and resistance. So balikan natin ano ba yung volume profile. Sa Investa chart, mahanap mo yan dito. Pwede mo yan pindutin yung auto volume profile. Basically, ano siya? Kino-consolidate niya lahat ng volume on this visible range, no? So, from this point up to this point, nandito karamihan ng shares. Ito yung point of control na tinatawag. Point of control or POC. And yung yellow bars, basically ano yan? Yan yung mga down volume. Yan yung selling volume. And then yung blue bars are the up volume or yung buying volume. So, basically, paminsan, hindi mo na yan dapat pinapansin. So, yung importante lang is yung consolidated volume, no? Or yung sum of the two buying and selling volumes at a specific price point. So, yun. Pwede mo rin yan i-adjust. Pwede mong iba-ibahin yung mga colors. Like, pwede mong gawing green, pwede mong gawing red, or whatever. So, nakadepende na sa'yo kung ano yung preferred setting mo. So, basically, let's get into the use case na ng volume profile. Tanggalin ko muna tong RSI. So, ito lang yung mga indicators natin. Yung volume, yung MA100, and yung volume profile visible range. So, in this chart, makikita natin na yung point of control is at 1646 or 1646. So, in this case, since price is near this level, it can serve as a strong resistance level. And ngayon, if price breaks above this resistance level or this volume profile resistance level, possibly madali niya nang i-take tong 1618 level or itong 2,000 USDT level. So, ganun. Ngayon, another case is our next point of control or yung next thick volume buy price natin is at 1252. So, in the case na mag-resist yan, possibly na mag-magnet siya papuntang 1250 or 1262. Basically, at this strong support level na based on volume, no? So, volume by price na basis. So, ganun. Ganun yung pwede mong gawing approach. So, kunyari, ayaw mong gamitin tong volume profile indicator na yan, meron kang pwedeng gamitin na tool, no? So, in this case, pwede mong gawin tong fixed range volume profile. Kasi ang hassle dito, nag-a-adjust siya as you chart, 'di ba? As you move your chart. So, pwede mong gawing workaround dyan is tanggalin mo to, then use the fixed range volume profile. So, for example, ang gusto mo lang makita na volume profile is this range. Gamitin mo lang yan, itong fixed range volume profile. I-drag and drop mo lang dyan. Then, makikita mo na yung volume profile levels mo or yung market profile levels mo. So, in this case, based on this trading range, ito yung point of control natin, which is at 1.16 or 1596, no? So, pwede mo namang i-treat yan as a range. So, right now, based on this volume profile trading range, price is above the point of control. So, in this case, bullish siya. 'Di ba? Since above siya sa volume profile na point of control. So, what we can anticipate is once na i-break niya tong level na yan, pwede siyang mag-test papunta dito sa resistance level na to, which is 2,000 USDT. So, yun yung bull case. So, ang pwede rin gawin yan is, yung bear case is, mag-retrace siya pabalik or mag-pierce pabalik siya or pababa sa 1.6 level. Then, ang next area of support is at this level, which is 1,250, no? So, ito yung ano natin, thick volume profile natin. Nandito yung shares, karamihan ng shares. So, pwede mong i-anticipate na possibly dito siya mag-support, no? Instead na dito siya mag-support at this level, which is at 1,000 USDT. So, ganun. Ganun yung use case mainly for volume profile. Pwede mong gamitin tong fixed range volume profile or yung ano natin, yung built-in natin sa Investa chart. So, yun. In my case, ginagawa ko kasi range by range ko siya tinitingnan. Range by range. So, in this case, ngayon, ito yung focus point natin na trading range. So, dito ko siya ilalagay, di ba? Pwede ko siyang dito ilagay. Or, basically, dun sa bigger picture na trading range. Para mas ma-assess ko kung nasaan talaga yung value areas or yung point of control, no? Okay, try naman natin with another method, no? So, tanggalin natin tong built-in volume profile. Then, i-apply natin yung fixed range volume profile. So, pwede nating ilagay or iset natin tong trading range na yan. Then, makikita natin yung mga big volume nodes natin, in which ito yung big volume node natin. Next is at this level and then this level. So, based dito sa trading range na to or sa volume profile nito, meron tayong tatlong key levels, no, based on volume, which is at 16K, 19K, or 20K, and then 23K. So, tanggalin natin tong fib retracement kasi medyo magulo. So, ito yung mga key levels natin, key support levels natin. So, if ever na mag-resist siya dito at 24K, ito yung mga pwede natin tignan na support level. So, ngayon, price is above high volume node, which is at 23K. Once na mag-break below dyan sa 23K level na yan, ang next support level natin is at 19,500, no? Or 19,500 or 20K. Then, if mag-break below 20K, 16K na yung next na support level natin. So, instead na pinaplot mo siya in terms of fib retracements or whatever, or use structural support areas, pwede mo siyang gamitin. Pwede mong gamitin yung volume profile, no? Para mas maging objective yung approach mo in spotting support and resistances. Okay, so ito yung cheat sheet natin in using volume profiles, no? In which ito yung scenario relative to price and VBP structure, and then ito yung high probability outcome, no? In trend and price action as well. So, una is yung presyo ay approaching sa isang structure support and resistance, pero yung volume by price support and resistance is manipis. Yung possible outcome niyan is a high probability breakout or breakdown. So, tignan natin in this example, no? So, price is approaching a structure SNR, but thin VBP support and resistance. So, in this example, ginamit natin yung fixed range volume profile, and ito yung determined trading range natin. Ito yung swing lows natin or yung structure support. And then, ito yung swing high natin, no? And then, dito nag-end yung trading range. So, in this case, na price is approaching structure support and resistance. In this case, structural support siya. Pero manipis yung volume profile, no? So, ang high probability event niyan or high probability outcome niyan is possible breakdown, no? Kasi manipis lang siya, wala masyadong support at this level, no? So, another example is ADA, no? In which, in this scenario, price is approaching a structure SNR with thick VBP support or resistance. So, in this case, ito yung trading range natin. And, ito yung dating support na naging resistance. So, ano yan? Structure resistance yan. And then, accompanied siya with a thick VBP resistance na node, di ba? So, in this case, nung price is approaching the VBP resistance, nag-resist siya, di ba? Nag-resist siya at 0.40, 0.45 level. Actually, hindi niya na inabot yung area na yon. So, yun yung high probability outcome, no? So, high probability na mag-serve siya as support or resistance. So, used siya in confluence, di ba? Used siya in confluence. So, next example is eto. Same with the Bitcoin example kanina, in which, in this scenario, price breaks a thick VBP support or resistance. So, hindi na natin pinansin yung structure resistance and support areas. So, in this case, VBP lang or volume profile lang. So, dito makikita natin na yung fixed range volume profile natin, makikita natin na yung point of control is at 38K. Yun. So, nung nag-break below 38K, which is yung thick VBP support area natin, nagkaroon ng strong down move. So, ganun lang, di ba? If price breaks a thick VBP support or resistance, possible strong move on the downside or upside. So, ganun lang siya kasimple, di ba? So, yun yung cheat sheet natin in using volume profiles, no? Yun, so in summary, yung mga diniscuss ko na indicators, yung Fibonacci retracements are anticipatory support and resistance areas na based sa Fibonacci ratios. Pangalawa, yung Fibonacci retracements are better used or better be used in confluence with other indicators like volume profile and moving averages. And lastly, sa volume profile naman, much reliable gauge siya to determine a technical support or resistance. If malakas ba yun or mahina. Yun, so that ends our discussion and my discussion in Fibonacci retracements and volume profiles. I hope may natutunan kayo sa amin ni Kahane. If may questions kayo and such, don't hesitate to message us or comment kayo sa comment section if may tanong kayo. So yun, that's it. Ingat kayo and God bless.
So that's it for today's lesson. Hopefully, you guys learned a lot. And for those who are just tuning in to our crypto trading bootcamp for the first time and would like to enroll, here's 3 easy steps so you can enroll for free. Step 1 is to create an Investagrams account. You will need an account on Investa to access the quizzes and our exclusive group. Step number 2 is to join our exclusive Investa group on the platform. This is a place where you can ask questions directly to our educators and receive instructions for quizzes and activities. Step number 3, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our official Facebook page. All recorded videos of our lessons and important announcements will be posted on these channels.